योऽन्ता प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तान् सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् कथाञ्चना स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्य नमामि तम्। Hare Krishna, welcome to our Bhagavatam class Tuesday. We were on the 24th verse of the 9th chapter of the first canto, and we couldn't complete the discussion, so we will complete it today. So this 9th chapter is where Bhishma is instructing the Pandavas. He's already welcomed them, given them a lot of affection and love. And the main verses were from 12 to 17, where he pacifies and encourages the Pandavas. And we are right now discussing this important section from 18 to 24, where he is glorifying Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the last verse of this section. After this, Bhishma will instruct Yudhishthira Maharaj in 4 verses. And then he will also give his final instructions. Final moments are being described. And then finally, we'll come to this most exciting 11 prayers that Bhishma offers from 32 to 42. So we will discuss all of that later, but today we'll complete the 24th verse. So we'll chant and somebody will have to read the translation after we chant. Who will read the translation today? You will read, bro. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham Prasannahasarunalohchanolasam Mukam Bhujodhyanapatas Chaturbhuja.
May my Lord, who is four-handed and who is beautifully decorated lotus face with eyes as May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face with eyes as red as the rising sun is smiling, kindly await me at the moment when I quit this material body.
Purport.
Vishnu Dev knew well that the Lord Krishna is the original Narayan. His worshipable deity was four-handed Narayan, but he knew that four-handed Narayan is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. Indirectly, he desired Lord Sri Krishna to manifest himself in his four-handed figure of Narayan. A Vaishnava is always humble in his behavior. Although it was 100% certain that Vishnu Dev was approaching Vaikuntha Dham just after leaving his material body, still as a humble Vaishnava, he desired to see the beautiful face of the Lord. For after quitting the present body, he might not be in the position to see the Lord anymore. A Vaishnava is not hooked up, although the Lord guarantees his pure devotee entrance into his abode. Here, Vishwadev says, as long as I do not quit this body. This means that the great general would quit the body on its own will. He was not being forced by the laws of nature. He was so powerful that he could stay in his body as long as he desired. He got this benediction from his father. He desired that the Lord stay before him in his four-handed Narayan feature so that he might concentrate upon him and thus be in the trance with that meditation. Then his mind might be sanctified with thinking of the Lord. Thus he did not mind wherever he might go. A pure devotee is never very anxious to go back to the kingdom of God. He entirely depends on the goodwill of the Lord. He is equally satisfied even if the Lord desires him to go to hell. The only desire that a pure devotee entertains is that he may always be in rapt attention to thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord regardless. Vishnudev wanted this much only, that his mind be absorbed in thinking of the Lord and that he pass away thus. That is the highest ambition of a pure devotee.
So we have discussed in the last class, the focus of pure devotee is his highest ambition is he wants to fix his mind on Krishna. Devotee's goal is mind should be fixed on Krishna and we can be absorbed in remembering Krishna lotus feet. This is the final verdict of the chapter on Dhyana Yoga, also in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says the highest yogi is one who remembers me, yoginam api sarvesham, madgate nantaratmana, shraddhavan bhajate yomam, same yukta tamam. So today we will go deeper into this. Srila Prabhupada said that pure devotee is not anxious to go back to Krishna. He wants to serve Krishna and this is the highest standard. So now we cannot reach there artificially. So last time we discussed what is remembrance. So we discussed about the point about that Padma Patra Ivam Vasa. Srila Prabhupada says the devotee is like a lotus flower, lotus leaf. It's in the water, but the water doesn't contaminate the lotus leaf. Similarly, devotee is in the material world, but the material world doesn't contaminate the devotee. And for that, we discussed the example Srila Prabhupada gives of the sun. The sun is crores of miles away, but we can see the sun here through the form of sunshine. Similarly, God is in his abode, but we can experience God in our life if we remember him. Remembering Krishna is compared to removing the curtain in the house. When the curtain is closed, although the sun has appeared, we are unable to see the sun. But when we remove the curtain, then we can experience the presence of sun. Similarly, Krishna is here in this world, in our life also, but we are unable to see him because we are not remembering him. The curtain is closed. When we remember Krishna, we are able to see and perceive Krishna's presence. So for that, I gave the example of how we need to remember Krishna when we spoke on chanting. I remember speaking about improving our awareness, acceptance, and allowing the mind to be what it is. And then I gave my own stories, a few stories. So I wanted you to do some homework. You remember what that homework? What is the homework I had given? How Krishna appeared in your life. So I had asked you to discuss that, to meditate on that and make a note of it. So 2 weeks have passed. So has Krishna appeared in your life in these 2 weeks? But as I had spoken also about the prerequisites for this. There are 2 things you need to do by which you become qualified to perceive Krishna's presence in your life. Remember what are those 2 activities? We need to chant attentively. And second, we need to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So how many of you in the last 2 weeks have heard at least or studied at least 5 days out of the 15 days? Okay. Thank you. Others have not studied Bhagavatam or read or heard Bhagavatam? And how many of you have chanted or tried to chant attentively last 15 days? Okay. So all of you are qualified. So can you share with the person next to you how Krishna has appeared in your life in the last 2 weeks? Any examples? Anyway, Krishna has appeared? No. सब मेरे को ही देख रहे हैं, मैं भी आपको देख रहा हूँ. ऐसे पूरा टाइम बीत जाएगा. You forgot the homework. Huh? Such an important exercise I had given.
Probably we remember, but we are not like qualified. At least we tried.
You're not qualified for what?
That Krishna will show us like.
Wow. Then why are you doing bhakti if you're not qualified to experience Krishna?
I'm trying.
So you think Krishna has not appeared in your life last 15 days?
He did, in fact, yesterday, honestly speaking. Not that day, not because of my chanting, but yesterday, all of a sudden, we had a very good inflow of the children. And I was not prepared for that. And so I just went to Govinda, ordered whatever they have. So, and that also, they said, I said, give me 30, they didn't have 30 also. So I said, jitna hai utna de do. And they gave me. Hare Krishna. So they gave me how much ever it was there. And can you believe me? It was just exactly that much.
So he is Krishna.
He saved me.
Krishna came as samosa. Krishna came as samosa and vada pav.
Like Draupadi.
See, these are exercises. See, these are all favorable experiences you are saying, you know. चमत्कार, जहाँ पे चमत्कार होता है ना, मैजिक होता है, we think Krishna has come. Even that Hanuman story I said, everybody forgot the whole Bhagavatam I spoke, but they remember that story. Because material world में चमत्कार को नमस्कार. They don't understand that Krishna can appear through many other ways also, through instructions from other devotees. We never perceive Krishna's presence through the instructions we receive or through something profound that we read or some philosophical point that answered some doubt. These things also Krishna appears through, and we are unable to perceive Krishna's presence through the instructions and guidance we get from other devotees. We generally perceive Krishna's presence through some coincidences or some miracles that happen in our life. Like I was hungry, it was Ekadashi, I was in the office and suddenly somebody brought sabudana khichdi, Hari Bol. That is Krishna who has come on Ekadashi. So like that, you know, our perception of Krishna is very shallow often. So this exercise was hoping that when we read and chant attentively, we will start perceiving and feeling instructions and guidance of Krishna through devotees, through Bhagavatam, through social interactions. Not simply how Krishna fulfills my desires. When I have some desire and Krishna fulfills it, we think Krishna has come. No, Krishna may also appear through some other ways. Maybe not simply to fulfill our material desires. So that also we should try to see and understand and hear.
That is more refined. We need to reach that.
Yeah, but generally we are living in our I space. Mera dunya, meri ichhaएं, mera desires. But there is also Krishna space. But the whole point is, that discussion which we had, such a marathon discussion last time, was Ito Narsimha, Parato Narsimha. Lord is pervading everywhere, every space. And 18th chapter of Gita also says that actually the religion is in the mode of goodness when we're able to perceive the oneness, when we're able to perceive the Lord everywhere. So therefore, we have to remember Krishna. Now, today we will discuss the 3 ways. Last time we couldn't discuss because we got distracted in our discussion. Today I'll complete that topic. Srila Prabhupada says there are 3 ways we can remember Krishna. So once we know these 3 ways, then we can actually practice remembering Krishna. But the first is the most commonly explained and easiest way, is to remember Krishna through gratitude. Gratitude means thanking Krishna for the gifts we have got. Like for example, you got nice prasad. Like yesterday we got prasad. So that is gratitude. So when you are expressing gratitude to Krishna, you are remembering Krishna. And also when in gratitude, when we taste that prasad, that taste is also Krishna. So by remembering Krishna and receiving Krishna in the present, by remembering Krishna and receiving Krishna in the present moment, like when we are listening to the holy name, when we are listening to the class, so we are present, right? So when we are remembering Krishna and receiving Him, that is gratitude. That is the first way of remembering Krishna. So when we do that, we become like that lotus leaf in the water. Padma Patra Ivambasa. We remain in the material world, but we don't get affected. Srila Prabhupada gives his own example. That when he was in New York, he would say that I'm feeling a lot of difficulty here because I'm away from home. But because I'm remembering my Guru and Krishna and the purpose why I have come here, I'm still here. In fact, there is one lecture of Srila Prabhupada given in one of those houses in 1965. And all these old people are attending his class, and Srila Prabhupada says in the middle of the class, actually, I'm not happy here. He says that in the class. And one of the ladies, you can hear her voice in the distance. She says, yes, Swami, we know you are not happy. Srila Prabhupada says, my heart is hankering to be in Vrindavan. I want to be in Vrindavan. I'm remembering Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda. And he's feeling sad. And then he's saying, but he says, I want to go back to Vrindavan. He's not happy. He's sad. And he says, but I will not go back. My Guru has ordered me to preach here. I'm remembering my Guru. And then he says, actually, when I remember my Guru and my purpose, I'm happy. So Srila Prabhupada is talking about remembering Krishna. And so like this, so these are there are three things. First is remembering Krishna with gratitude. Now, Srila Prabhupada doesn't give gradation like this, 1, 2, 3, but I have compiled from the lecture. First is remembering Krishna with gratitude. Then Srila Prabhupada talks about a higher way of remembering Krishna. Gratitude is common and it is most important. But after gratitude, a devotee also cultivates a mood of depending on Krishna. So when we depend on Krishna and understand Krishna's greatness and our tininess, then that is a higher way of remembering Krishna. See, when we are expressing gratitude, what happens? We are still full of self. Krishna, I wanted this. Krishna, you gave me this. Krishna, you are so nice to me. Gratitude, at the end of the day, for most of us, it is about I. But when we raise the level of remembering Krishna to dependence, what we are actually telling Krishna is, Krishna, you are great. Without you, this cannot be done. Like Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur would say, when somebody would ask him, Srila Prabhupada, so tomorrow we are leaving for Madras? Bhaktivedanta Thakur would say, yes, tomorrow we are leaving, Krishna willing. Means he would immediately understand that we are dependent on Krishna's sanction. So when we are depending on Krishna's great mercy and Krishna is great, we understand that we are acknowledging our tininess. Gratitude can still be self-centered. Thank you, Krishna, but it is, I want this, I wanted this, my house, my life. But when we express Krishna, you are the one who does all this. You are the one who sanctions it. We are saying, Krishna, you are great. I am insignificant. I can't do anything without you. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example of that Dr. Baba, who was the chairman of the planning commission. He was going for his meeting, and while traveling, he got a heart attack and he died. Srila Prabhupada says he was chairman of the planning commission, but he could not plan his own death. So he says, how we are so tiny, there are so many factors beyond ourselves. And when we acknowledge that we are tiny and we cannot do anything on our own, then our thankfulness, our gratitude to Krishna gets mixed with when our gratitude to Krishna gets mixed with our tininess, our smallness, then we start feeling belongingness with Krishna. When our gratitude is mixed with our insignificance, then there is a sense of belongingness with Krishna. And that's when we enter the space of love. When we feel belonging with Krishna, we feel love. So can you think of examples in your life? Can you share right now of how you are dependent on Krishna? If not all the time, how are you dependent on Krishna? What are you dependent on Krishna? Wait. Question somewhere? How are we dependent on Krishna? Everything means nothing. You tell me what are you dependent on Krishna for? Sab Krishna de dena everything to fit. I don't have to think. That's amazing. And the fact that I'm able to take breath, that's Krishna. इसके आगे भी कोई बोलेगा ही नहीं अभी हो गया अल्टीमेट आपने बोल दिया. But can you think? See, that's why I'm saying it's not theoretical, it's very personal. Not just for being alive. Can you think of how we are dependent on Krishna?
I mean, particularly without association, it's difficult, but I'm dependent on him. And also, he gives me seva here. I'm dependent in the sense that he allows me to come here to serve, to associate, and then again go back. and continue until again comes.
So you're dependent on Krishna for all this association, for all the different dynamics in your life. Actually, I don't know if you have experienced in your life some situation, some problem where there are many factors and everything played out in such a way that ultimately the problem was solved. And you will see that there are many factors which were like coincidence or सब कुछ perfectly fit हो गया. It's like an expert director directing a movie. वो कैसे हुआ? That's Krishna. See, there are many things I cannot share. Like I'm sure all of you have your own stories. You know, like okay, in 2020 this is a problem I was in. I thought I'll never be able to come out of it, and then 2021 something like this happened, and then I was intensely praying. And today when I look back, I'm surprised how I'm out of that problem. I don't know how Krishna slowly orchestrated. Then one devotee came and told me, do this, and another devotee told me. Then everything fell in place, and now that problem is completely solved. That means this is a classic example of how we are dependent on Krishna all the time. We are not able to solve the problem on our own.
I have an example, maybe little trivial, but like when I was giving CAT, the entrance exam, in that actually my English is not that good actually. The other part is very good, maths and maths. So the English was not that great, as in like I was not able to clear the cutoff also. 85% is the cutoff if you want to go to Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta. Minimum that much is required. So when I used to practice, if the paper is easy, I will not clear the cutoff. Because that is a percentile game. Because everyone will score high and you will score high, but you will not clear it.
Correct.
So when I gave CAT, that day paper was very difficult. So I just cleared 86%.
And you got IIM Bangalore. One of the top MBA colleges in India.
Yeah.
IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore.
The other part was very good, but this part I was dependent. English was also something you cannot improve overnight.
These are all small examples, but they are so powerful. This makes us realize how we are dependent, how we cannot do it on our own. Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto, he gives many examples. He says how a child cannot become cured simply by the medicine of the doctor. A ship cannot sail smoothly in the ocean, even if it has a good captain. Like that, he gives different examples of how we are dependent. We can't say that I've figured out everything and everything will be perfect. They're mysterious. Like, that one Malaysian Airlines was flying from somewhere to China. It suddenly disappeared into thin air. And generally they say, oh, plane must have crashed in some ocean somewhere. But they have not found any debris, plane is huge. They have found nothing in that plane. उसका विंग, उसका डब्बा, कुछ तो मिलना चाहिए. एंड दो प्लेन शायद, एक प्लेन था वो पूरा गायब ही हो गया. एक छोटा सा अर्थ प्लैनेट पे यू कैन नॉट फाइंड अ ह्यूज प्लेन एंड स्टिल दे आर सर्चिंग, दे आर नॉट फाउंड. No, how tiny we are. That is the point I'm saying. How much we are dependent. Just last week we were flying from Pokhara to Kathmandu, and the plane is going and suddenly dropped. Like, that Singapore Airlines also dropped 6,000 feet and one person died also. Our plane also dropped. This is not abnormal. This is common. Every plane, that's called, I think, I forget the technical word for it. The plane comes down. Turbulence is plane keeps shaking, but there is one particular word for plane just going down suddenly like this. Free-falling is what we call it for human beings when they fall. But plane ka ek word hai. Anyway, I'll tell you. Wikipedia mein maine padha tha. So it comes down, then what the pilot does is he again brings it back as the plane is flying. It's common. But the danger is in the Himalayan region when the plane comes down like this, there is mountains below. Fortunately, when our plane came down like this, there was no mountain below. So we survived, but people are screaming and then they were laughing, giggling as if it was a joyride, as if they were in Disneyland. It's a small plane, 72 people in that plane, and people are laughing and joking. And I was like, don't you realize there is death staring at your face? People are laughing, and then I wanted to tell them, I didn't have internet in the plane, but after we landed, I showed that place to some of the devotees. Exactly same plane 1 year ago, same journey, same route, 72 passengers. The plane was going from Pokhara to Kathmandu only. And it had same fall, but there was a mountain and all 72 were killed. All 72. And today, nothing happened. So we are laughing. We are not realizing that we are so dependent on Krishna. बच गए हम लोग कोई उसके बारे में nobody is thinking also that we got saved. सब ठीक है अभी नेक्स्ट कहाँ जाना है अभी क्या खाना है किधर खाना है डिनर किधर है अच्छा क्या है मेनू में अरे यार हम जान बच गई अभी. So every moment we are dependent on Krishna. So therefore gratitude is one. Gratitude is one way we remember Krishna. Second is through dependence. How we are dependent. And Srila Prabhupada takes it to the third level. So gratitude, dependence, and then third is acceptance or surrender, accepting the Lord's will. अब ये जो मेरे लाइफ में है कृष्णा, like for example, sometimes we are crushed. No, Asli Shiva Padaratam, that verse. I'm crushed, I'm accepted, I'm embraced by Krishna, I'm loved by Krishna, I'm neglected by Krishna, I'm honored by Krishna. Tatte no compound, Krishna's mercy. So Srila Prabhupada's mood when he was leaving this world. Srila Prabhupada had many desires to write Bhagavatam and all of that. But when he realized he's about to leave this world, and devotees asked him, Srila Prabhupada, any desire you have? What did Srila Prabhupada say? कुछ इच्छा नहीं. He could have said, अरे मैंने भागवतम complete नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया. He could immediately accept that plan of Krishna. I wanted to complete Bhagavatam. I want to do this. I want to do that. But Krishna has a different plan. Can we come to that stage eventually through gratitude and dependence where we can accept Krishna's will? See, gratitude is thanking Krishna for self. Gratitude is thanking Krishna for what I have got. Dependence is now moving from self and coming closer to Krishna. Krishna, you are so great. And then acceptance is merging the self completely with God. It is Krishna, whatever your will, that will prevail. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying, this is one of the most classic purports in the Bhagavatam. That's why we are spending 2 classes on this. Prabhupada is saying that devotee doesn't want to go back to Godhead also. He just wants to please Krishna. This is such a powerful statement. See, Srila Prabhupada, that's why he was a sannyasi. But still, he spent time getting the hippies married in America. पहले तो सन्यासी शादी नहीं करा था. Secondly, hippie पागल लोगों का शादी करा था. And one of those marriage ceremonies, there is this hippie lady, both of them are crazy guys and drugsmen, and somehow they are sober and शादी करा रहे हैं Prabhupada. Okay, get married. So this girl, she's in the wedding with her baby. वो शादी बच्चा ऑलरेडी हो गया बच्चे के साथ बच्चे के बाद वो कर रही है और शादी भी चल रहा है Prabhupada यज्ञ करा रहे हैं. There's another crazy girl who's full on drugs. Young girl, she's sitting in that yajna ceremony, wedding ceremony. She's sitting next and she's staring at Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying, Om Swaha, put the sesame seeds on the fire that they're putting, and he's chanting mantras. Okay, put the garland on each other. And this girl who's sitting on the side, she's staring at Prabhupada and says, Swamiji, I want to marry you. So Prabhupada looks at her. I'm a sannyasi. Keep quiet. And then he continues the wedding ceremony. And after some time again, Swamiji, I want to marry you. मतलब कितना हाई होगी ड्रग्स में. ऐसे ऐसे लोगों के साथ प्रभुपाद रहते थे. So he's accepting it as Krishna's will. So Prabhupada says in that famous bhajan, Nachao, Nachao, Prabhu, Nachao se mate. Kashtera Putali ena, Nachao se mate. Krishna, make me dance, make me dance. I'm a puppet in your hands. Make me dance. We are not on that level. We want Krishna to dance to our will. How can Krishna serve me? That is our paradigm. But a pure devotee's mood is, how can I serve Krishna? Of course, I want to clarify. I'm not saying that, okay, gratitude is lower and dependence is higher and then surrender, acceptance is highest. No, it's not a vertical scale. It is cyclical. Means we begin with gratitude, then we come to dependence, and then we completely surrender to Krishna. Then there is again gratitude, dependence. It's all. See, there are many examples in Shastra of this cycle. One of the most amazing is Madhavendra Puri, who was staying in Vrindavan, Govinda Kund, and Gopalji comes in his dream, and Gopalji reveals himself. And then later on, Gopalji tells him to get Chandan. And he goes through a lot of difficulty to get Chandan, and he doesn't feel any problem. Kaviraj Goswami says, this is the nature of love. Pragada premeraye swabhava achar, nija dukkha bigna adi na kare vichar. Pragada prema, when there is intense love for Krishna, the swabhava and achar of that love is nija dukkha bigna adi na kare vichar. My difficulty, my dukkha, I will not consider only. We may not be on that level, but we need to hear about that level, so that we one day come to that level. Very beautiful verse. Please repeat. Pragada premeraye swabhava achar nija dukkha bigna adi kare vichar. So this is the highest level of remembering Krishna, where we are accepting Krishna's will. See, one of the classic examples for ISKCON devotees to remember is Vasudeva and Devaki. See, we are worshipping Krishna. Krishna's father, Vasudeva, is a classic example. They were so desperate for Krishna. They were in the prison for so many years. They went through so much suffering. Their own children were being killed in front of them. So finally, when Krishna appeared, it's time for them to celebrate. But what does Krishna tell them? Take me away. They could have complained, अरे इतना वेट करने के बाद पूरा अभी नंद महाराज के पास चले जाएंगे यार. We suffered so much, we struggled so much. That is complete surrender. It's interesting. Vasudeva had to cross Yamuna, that water body. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu once very beautifully analyzed this. He was comparing Vasudeva with Lord Ram. So Lord Ram also had to cross a water body, the ocean, to go to Lanka. So it's interesting how Lord Ram, for him to cross the ocean was not so difficult, because he did not face any threat from Ravana for crossing the water body. See, Ravana was thinking that, oh, this Ram and these monkeys and Lakshmi, they cannot come to Lanka. Lanka is, it's formidable and it's insurmountable. You cannot come here. That's what Ravana was thinking. And Hanuman came and burnt my city. That was a freakish accident. It just ho gaya. It will not happen again. Fluk mein ho gaya. That's what he thought. Ravana. So Ravana was not taking seriously that Ram, Lakshman and all the Vanaras may use the ocean to come. But if you see, and also Lord Ram's team, when they were making the bridge to go to Lanka, they were all super enthusiastic. There was a lot of, if you read the Ramayana, they were cheerful, they were having fun. They were like, pura masti ke mood mein the, khush the, sab Vanaras were, excited, enthusiastic. It was all fun going to Lanka. But if you compare the situation with Vasudeva, he also has to cross this water body, Yamuna river. But Vasudeva is living in an atmosphere of great anxiety. Because in Vasudeva, when he was in the prison, all the guards were super alert. And the jail, and they were not only in the jail, they were bound also by chains. It was very risky. But when Lord Krishna said, okay, take me to Vrindavan, he could have said, it's not possible. He said, Bhagwan bol rahe na to ho jaye. This is the acceptance and surrender of the highest level. Vasudeva, and then he left. What happened? The jails, the security guard, very high security guard, they all fell asleep. Means Vasudeva had complete faith. See, after so much suffering, when Lord appears and tells him to take me to Vrindavan, Vasudeva totally agrees. So what Srila Prabhupada is writing in today's purport was exemplified by Vasudeva. And if you see Kamsa compared to Ravana, Kamsa was actually very horrible. See, Ravana, at least he was trying to fight for the honor of his sister externally, Shurpanka. Here Vasudeva is trying to kill his own sister, Devaki. And actually, if you see the way Kamsa was treating his sister, there was cruelty at triple level. It was the highest unimaginable degree. First of all, he wanted to, he held Devaki's hair and was about to kill her. First of all, he was killing a woman, which is forbidden in Shastra. He picked up his sword to kill a woman. Secondly, okay, even if you're killing a woman, you're demoniac, but nobody will kill his own sister. Secondly, not only is killing a woman, he's killing his own sister. And thirdly, he's killing her on her wedding day. He could have killed her, negotiated the next day, mask cover. You can imagine what crazy fellow he must have been. How terrorizing he must have been that somebody doesn't hesitate to kill his own sister on her wedding day. So I'm just trying to give you a context in which Vasudeva was taking the risk for Krishna. One question I always had, that when the Akashvani happened, that Vasudeva and Devaki's 8th child will kill Kamsa, Kamsa could have kept them separate. Then na bajega baas, na bajegi basuri. I used to always have this question, but then Vaishnava Acharya has explained very nicely in the commentary, and that answered. Because हमसे ज़्यादा वो लोग वो सोचते हैं ना, they have the answers for it. They say actually Kamsa knew that just by physically keeping them separate, I cannot prevent Vishnu's plan from not happening. Lord's plan, अगर भगवान है इतने बड़े हैं और इनका इतना बड़ा आकाशवाणी हो रहा है तो होके रहेगा. So ऐसा physically दूर रख के कुछ फायदा नहीं. That is one. Secondly, he was very arrogant. He wanted to prove the demigods wrong. See, because demigods, he had already defeated them in physical prowess. In fighting, he had already defeated them. He had proven that he is stronger than them. But now when they made Akashvani, he wanted to tell them, Acha, I have defeated you, but you think your words are stronger than me. I will prove your words also wrong. So let this child be born, then I will kill this child and prove your words also wrong. I have already proved you physically inferior to me. Now I will prove that your words are also inferior. That is why Kamsa did not keep Devaki and Vasudeva separate. He was willing to take up the challenge. So not only he was so cruel that he was willing to kill his sister, even the children, the small babies, if you see that also, there was cruelty at many levels. First of all, you don't kill a small baby like that. So Kamsa was so cruel that he could kill a baby, and that was how he killed. He would take that baby and dash it on the stone. 6 children like that, newborn babies, pick them up and throw them on the stone. I mean, what kind of a person he must be? And that too, not only was killing a baby, not only was killing the baby by dashing the baby on the stone, thirdly, he was killing that child in front of Vasudeva and Devaki. Parents के सामने बच्चे को मार रहा. तो सोचो कितना क्रूर होगा वो. So in that atmosphere, Vasudeva had this challenge, and this shows how fearless he was. This shows how much he had accepted the Lord's will. There was so much uncertainty in his life. See, crossing the ocean, Prabhupada crossed the ocean water body. A lot of uncertainty in Srila Prabhupada's life also. So this is the difference between, Prabhupada, Vasudeva, Madhavendra Puri, and us. Our mood is, how can Krishna serve me? That is why we are not able to appreciate this third level of remembering Krishna. What are the 3 levels? First level, gratitude. Second level, dependence. Third level, acceptance. Acceptance of Lord's will. To reach that level, we need to move from this mood of how Krishna can serve me to how I can serve Krishna. So now how do we rise to this level? Srila Prabhupada gives very nice techniques or nice point on how we could do that. See, from an ungrateful life, it's easy to move to a grateful life, relatively. And even depending on Krishna is possible. By constantly practicing through journal, through prayers, it's possible. But acceptance and surrender is very difficult. So for that, to enter that space, Srila Prabhupada says it begins with very important point, trust. Trusting Krishna that Krishna will take care of me if I surrender. Trust means what? Not trying to be a control freak. Generally, we try to control our life, plans, we make everything. Trust means allowing Krishna to take charge of my life. So practically, I'll tell you what does it practically mean in your and especially Grasta's life. Somebody is trying to earn a lot of money, for example, and is spending so much time earning money that he has no time for Krishna consciousness. But you can practice this third principle of surrender, acceptance, when you trust Krishna, which means you are willing to spend time, little less time in earning money, and slowly spend that time in hearing, chanting, and service to Krishna. So, in that time that you're spending in Krishna consciousness, you could have earned maybe 2 lakh rupees more. But you are saying, no, I will chant and hear because I want to trust Krishna in this. That is surrender. That is acceptance. Very, very practically, I'm saying. I'm translating this very abstract principle of surrender and acceptance to a doable activity. This is trust. Krishna will take care. If I take care of my Krishna consciousness, Shraddha Shabde Vishwase Sudruda Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Chaitanya Charitamrita says that trust and surrender to Krishna means if I take care of my Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will take care of what I need. So this basically requires us to indirectly what we are trying to do is we are saying telling Krishna will not accept more than what I need. I'm working, I'll earn money, but extra time I'll spend on hearing and chanting. But we all have some needs. Srila Prabhupada also says, some of you have to work more because your needs may be more. You have a bigger family, responsibilities. Srila Prabhupada's famous example, ant and an elephant. He says, ant needs only 1 grain of food, elephant needs lot of food. So some of you are elephant, so you have to work hard in your office. You have to earn more money. And some of us are okay with that. We are like ant. We don't need so much. We can spend time in Krishna consciousness. But sometimes our mind will cheat us. We may be ant, but the mind will tell us you're an elephant. You have to earn more. Don't spend time in going to temple and chanting and hearing. So how can you know whether you are an ant or an elephant? Which means how can you know whether you need to earn more money or you need to spend more time in Krishna consciousness? Well, simple question, ask yourself, are you stuck or are you moving forward? Are you able to remember Krishna favorably or are you feeling unloved by the Lord? If you are not feeling Krishna consciousness, that means you are not trusting Krishna. You are doing, working, earning more and beyond what you should. So you have to take this big step of being satisfied with less. The Mahatma Gandhi, when he was going to England for the round table conference, you know how he went? Very famous. The YouTube videos are there. That loincloth and that shawl and that danda. He's going to meet the King of England. After the round table conference, there is an appointment to the king. He's going to the palace. And the reporters are asking him, Mahatma Gandhi, isn't it a little embarrassing? How will you're going with no clothes to meet the king? Don't you think it's a little, what the word I forget, the British are very good in words. So they use very nice words. Don't you think it is a little incongruent, inappropriate that you are wearing such less clothes? We are going to meet the King of England. So Gandhi laughs. Gandhi says, no, don't worry. The king is wearing enough clothes for both of us. he's making up for both of us. So the point is we always want more. We are always accumulating. So you have to ask yourself, check your consciousness. Are you able to remember Krishna favorably? If no, that means you're doing something wrong. Can you pause? Because this is a cancer of mind, comparing with each other, comparing with other devotees, controlling and complaining always about things not going well in our life. But when we practice gratitude, then comparison stops. And when we start practicing dependence on Krishna, then controlling disease goes away because we are depending on Krishna. And when we start accepting Krishna's plan and surrendering to Krishna's will, then complaining goes away. So control-free, complaining and comparison, all of that will go away when we start practicing remembering Krishna through these 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? Gratitude, dependence, and accepting Krishna. Therefore, let us begin by remembering Krishna. There's a very, very famous prayer of remembering Krishna which Srila Prabhupada chanted many, many times. Anybody knows this prayer? I'll chant, you repeat after me. Krishna Tvadiya Pada
Krishna Tvadiya Pada
Pankaja Panjarantam
Pankaj Panjarantam
Adyeva me Vishatu
Adyevame Panchatu
Manasa Hamsa
Manasarajahamsa
Prana Prayana Samaye Kafavata Pitta
Bhavatam
Kantavarodana Vidhas
Kantarodhanavidhas
Smaranam Kutaste.
Smaranam Kutaste
So here, Maharaj Kulashekar is praying, which Srila Prabhupada would quote many times, that Krishna, Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam. Let my mind always remember your lotus feet. Which Bhishma Dev is praying here. Same thing Kulashekar Alwar is praying. Let my mind always remember your lotus feet now. Why? Adyeva me Vishatu Manasa Rajam. So now my mind and senses are active and strong. Now I can remember you. Because when I am dying, prana prayana samaye kaphavata pitta. The kaphavata pitta will be in so much imbalance when I am dying. That and kantavarodhana vidho, my throat will be choked up. Smaranam kutasta, I may not be able to remember you, but now I can remember you. Therefore, the conclusion is, we may not be like Bhishma Dev, but by practice, now when we are active, alert, awake, if we can start remembering Krishna. So basically what we're saying is pause. थोड़ा लाइफ में जो भी आप कर रहे हो, सुबह से शाम तक भाग रहे हो, थोड़ा सा pause करो. Ask yourself, do you have time to express gratitude to Krishna? Can you express dependence on Krishna? Can you tell Krishna, Krishna, I want to accept your will? थोड़ा तो time, थोड़ा तो relax करो, थोड़ा तो pause करो. Devotees, we have understood Krishna consciousness philosophy wrongly, and we think I have to be busy all the time. No, we have to pause. There are two kinds of bhakti, sadhana bhakti and bhava bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means practicing bhakti. Bhava bhakti means, see, sadhana bhakti, what we are doing now, it is called practice or executive bhakti. We execute bhakti. Then after we execute, we reach the stage of bhava, which is love. That is not executive bhakti, that is effective bhakti. Means whatever you do in the bhava stage, it is not practice. See, right now we are chanting Hare Krishna. Why? It is sadhana, it is a practice. We are practicing chanting Hare Krishna so that we get love of Krishna. When you get love of Krishna, you're not practicing chanting, you will automatically chant. So, see, when I have heard many times devotees say, Prabhuji, ऐसा relax नहीं करने का, busy रहने का कृष्ण के लिए, 24 hours busy रहने का, because one of the qualities of a devotee is avyarta kalatvam. He never wastes his time, always busy. And I tell them, wait, you are quoting wrongly. This avyarta kalatvam, this is not a symptom of sadhana bhakti. In the nectar of devotion, this is explained, this is a symptom of bhava bhakti, which means when you are fully in love with Krishna, then you will not waste even one moment, because you are everything, it is effect of bhakti, it is effect of loving Krishna. See, our chanting right now is a cause. If we chant nicely, it will give us love of Krishna. Our chanting is a cause for getting love of Krishna. But when pure devotee is chanting, that is a result of love of Krishna. Are you understanding? There is a very big difference. So when there is somebody loving Krishna, then not wasting time, not spending time at all, not relaxing at all, is a result of that love of Krishna. So that symptom we cannot superimpose when we are not developed love of Krishna. So now we have to pause. So I think I told last time the story that when I pause and I write appreciation journal, gratitude journal, and I saw one day how, although I'm finding faults, although my mind is always complaining, but suddenly because I was doing every day the gratitude journal, one day in the Guru Puja, I could see so many good qualities in a devotee. I was overwhelmed to see everything good everywhere. So that happens when we sincerely do sadhana. So therefore, we try to understand Krishna consciousness sincerely now. We try to remember Krishna, and then a time comes when we are not endeavoring, but remembrance comes to us. See, we try to understand Krishna consciousness, but sometimes understanding comes to us also. Everything you cannot figure out. So let us try to practice remembrance of Krishna like this, through these three ways. Gratitude, dependence, and acceptance. And at our level, acceptance means trusting Krishna to take care of our needs by we voluntarily spending little extra time for Krishna service. See, it is not for grastas only. Even brahmacharis, we go through that. Sometimes we want to hear lectures, read, not necessarily to love Krishna, but sometimes we feel I will have information, I can present in class. So to trust Krishna to drop all of this and pick up the bead bag and chant, because chanting we will get nothing. But love of Krishna will get. Actually, we will get. So for us, trusting Krishna means trusting, spending time in deity worship, in kirtan. If you see our ISKCON leaders, His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj, you see Bibi Govind Maharaj, they spend hours in this Kirtan Ras program. If you see Dubai ka Kirtan Mela, they बैठेंगे पूरा घंटों घंटों they are with Krishna. So spending so much time with Krishna requires a lot of surrender, trust that Krishna will take care. So I'm not saying go to that extreme, but whatever you are doing, if you can spend some time, that will be nice. So these are the first 24 verses of this chapter. Now the next 4 verses is where Bhishma will instruct Yudhishthir Maharaj directly, which we will take next time. We'll cover all the 4 verses. And after that, the final moments of Bhishma. What was his consciousness in the last moment? 29, 30, and 31 verses we will discuss. And then 32 to 42, the 11 verses is those beautiful prayers Bhishma offers to Lord Krishna. That we will take up in the next 2 classes. I will pause here. Any comments or questions regarding today's class? Hare Krishna.
So one thing,
Yeah, go on. No, you go on.
so one thing you mentioned that about remembering Krishna, remembering in the sense that for gratitude or dependency, basically, that situations have occurred in life where we have been actually dependent on Krishna. But actually, when you ask this question, so it was there in the mind that there are instances, but somehow I was not able to recollect. So I was scratching my brain that, yeah, then when you finish that whole thing, I recollected, okay, there is one example. So there is one example, but then what happens is we realize that, in this situation, I was completely dependent on Krishna. Otherwise, this would not have been possible. But then we forget. After we just remember for some time that this thing, Krishna, we are really grateful to Krishna that this thing happened and this would just not have been possible. And like you gave the example, in the flight when you're traveling. So after a while, people are like again laughing and everything is just, so we don't realize the intensity. So that just fades off and then we are again back to normal. Maybe at that moment we pray a lot to Krishna, but then sometimes we say, we come back and tell Krishna, thank you for, so and so, but then that's just for some time and then again it's gone.
So what is the point I'm making? So we don't remember Krishna.
Yeah. So even in these instances where we know that, with me, this happens at least, I know it was completely because of Krishna's dependency and everything, but still
We forget. That's called, scriptures explain there are two energies of material energy, Maya Devi. Prakshepatmika and Avaranatmika Shakti. Avaranatmika Shakti means Krishna's, Maya's this covering potency. It covers our intelligence. And Prakshepatmika means she kicks us. She gives us suffering. So when we forget, that means our intelligence has been covered, Avaranatmika Shakti. Therefore, we have Bhagavatam classes. So that we are reminded. Now you remembered, right? Because of the class.
Mm.
So if you hear the class tomorrow again, if you do some Shravanam, constantly if you keep hearing Krishna Katha, then you keep remembering that you are dependent on Krishna. Otherwise, forgetfulness will come. So the ultimate antidote is to constantly keep hearing. ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार चैंटिंग कर लिया तो अभी कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं, एक बार हियरिंग हो गया, कुछ करने की जरूरत. Many of us will forget, especially now in the social media age. We live in the outside world all the time because we want likes. One of the biggest diseases nowadays is likes. अरे मेरा पोस्ट को केवल 25 लाइक्स आया, अरे वो तो मेरे जितना जूनियर है उसका 25,000 लाइक्स आया. Where is Krishna here? We forget Krishna. People are depending on Krishna for social media likes and followers on YouTube. Pura, we have got our fundas completely wrong. Now, for devotee was in Vrindavan, Kamyavan, it's like Vrindavan of 500 years ago. Nobody is there. It's very isolated. And he was chanting alone in the forest. He saw a nice Brijavasi boy, 18-year-old boy, and he called him. He said, "अरे तुम तो ब्रजवासी है, लाला है, तुम इधर का है, कृष्ण को बहुत प्यारा है, प्लीज मेरे को ब्लेसिंग दो कि मैं भक्ति करूं अच्छे से. I can remember Krishna, I can depend on Krishna, I can accept Krishna's will." So this Brijavasi heard him. This boy, 18-year-old boy, heard him nicely. And he said, "अच्छा प्रभु जी आपका नाम क्या है?" Said Gaurang Priyadas. So he heard him, अच्छा, okay. And after 2 minutes he came back. He said, "प्रभु जी मैं तो आपके लिए pray करूंगा." Because that boy went and checked on Instagram Gaurang Priyadas. And then he came back and said, "प्रभु जी मैं आपको पूरा आशीर्वाद दूंगा, मैं ब्रजवासी हूँ, मैं आशीर्वाद दूंगा कि आपको कृष्ण प्रेम मिले. अभी आप मुझे आशीर्वाद दो कि मेरे लाइक्स और फॉलोअर्स बढ़े इंस्टाग्राम में. मेरे बहुत कम फॉलोअर्स हैं, आपके कितने सारे फॉलोअर्स." तो गौरंग पे अरे बाप रे, इतना बॉम्बे से बाकी इधर आया, इधर आके भी वही. ये है आज का बीमारी, we are forgetting Krishna so much. We are only in this world of name, fame, glamour, honor, position, respect. मेरे को कितने लोग लाइक करते हैं, कितने लोग फॉलो करते हैं. This is like such a crazy disease. So we have to come together like this and hear live Bhagavatam classes, come online, hear about Krishna, glorify Krishna. So many people want to be famous. See, fame is not bad, huh? Don't get me wrong. But the desire for fame is horrible. See, just because we are criticizing fame doesn't mean devotees who are famous are bad. Devotees who are famous, karma hai, they are famous, great. But they don't. If they have a desire for fame, मेरे को famous बनना है, then that is horrible because then there is no Krishna there. So abhi we are forgetting Krishna. We don't realize we're dependent on Krishna because we're living in the outside world all the time. ये razzle dazzle, जो चमक धमक है, सब जो glamour है, इसी में हम लोग फंसे हुए. Because on the screen, always people are presenting themselves, as good, smiling, laughing. I asked one of the children, the youth program, I asked, "You want to be famous or you want to be anonymous?" Prabhu, famous. Everybody said famous. Obviously, nobody wants to be anonymous. I said, "Okay, now you have a choice. I'll give you another choice. If you have a choice of the world knowing you or you knowing the world, what would you do?" First question was, "Sabne wala, we want to be famous." Nobody said, "I want to be anonymous." But second question, they were confused. It's a tricky question. You want the world to know you, or you want to know the world? First question, everybody said we want to be famous. Nobody said, when I asked how many want to be anonymous, nobody raised their hand. Second question, when I asked how many of you want the world to know you and you want to know the world, then it was a little confusing for them. But third question, everybody was clear that they prefer to be anonymous than to be famous. Because third question, I said, if you had a choice that you will have a magic ring which you wear and you become invisible and you can go anywhere and everywhere and you can see the whole world, that is one choice. The second choice is wherever you go, there is a non-stop 24/7 CCTV camera observing you. You are never alone. You are always under scrutiny. What would you prefer? What do you think we prefer? Magic ring. So the point is, ये जो fame है ना, fame और glory ये दुनिया जो देता है हमको, with equal ferocity they will strip us of that also. तो उसमें अभी our Acharya said it is Shukarera, Vishta and all that. 20-15 years back, we used to talk about it openly. This is all bad. We should just surrender to Krishna. Now we are scared to talk about it because we may be offending the audience. Now it's a said thing. It's understood that I want to be famous. It is like accepted new normal now. It is a new normal thing that I want to be famous on social media. Prabhuji, are blessing though. One girl came to me. Prabhuji, I started cooking classes online. Please bless me, Prabhu, that I can increase my followers. I said, okay, bless you. This is a sad thing. तो इसमें कहाँ So it's very, very, even we're depending on Krishna, we're depending on Krishna for life in this world, to remain firmly implanted in this world. We have gone very far away from Krishna. So therefore, we need this kind of classes where we hear and we share our love for Krishna through each other. Otherwise, this world is making us crazy. Pagal ho rahe hain. Look at this recent IPL, this fiasco. That one cricket player, he was nobody and then suddenly became a superhero, and now again he's nobody. ऐसा cycle है ये fame, name fame का. So let us be depend on Krishna and come for classes and do this kind of exercises. If I had not asked that question, you wouldn't have thought this. हम भूल जाते हैं कैसे हम dependent हैं. That's why we need journaling, we need constant remembering. Then we get carried away, then we forget, we think I have done it on my own, and then again we get kicked by Maya. And then
you attend the class.
And then we attend class again, and then again. और गिर के Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all the online devotees for coming. Hari Bol. Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, Hare Krishna.